Hey podcast listeners, Gossip Grid here, your guide to F1's paddock elites.
Hello everyone! Welcome back to Gossip Grid, where I basically give you everything you need to know about F1 and pop culture. And of course, it was a jam-packed week because we have no race. Drivers are frolicking all over the world and doing a whole lot of other things that are other than driving a race car. So first off, we have to talk about Coachella. We're not going to talk about Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes being spotted making out. We're not going to talk about the controversial Frank Ocean set that people have a lot of different takes on. But we are going to talk about just motorsports presence at Coachella. There was motorcore outfits all over the place. People are not giving up on this trend. Motorcores everywhere, and I'm here to support it. One of their performers, his name is IDK. It's not that I don't know his name. It's literally IDK. He really leaned into the trend. So in the middle, like his whole performance, he has a custom, one-of-a-kind race suit with matching shoes, a helmet, and in the middle of his set had a live pit stop with a pit crew coming on stage and changing his shoes. Why is that also genius besides just being motorsport themed? He also announced a Nike collab that weekend, and those were the shoes that he was changing into. So from one pair for the collab to another. Marketing genius. Also, exactly, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Money everywhere, great genius idea, love to see it. And our absolute favorite man of the hour and of all the time, Lewis Hamilton, was at Coachella for the first time since 2019. It's huge. Obviously, it was supposed to originally be at a race, and you know what? Things change. We have spring break. It's all happening, and he got to go to Palm Springs and was serving looks like, of course he was. That was no surprise. Every day was something else. There was Fendi, there was Gucci, it was ERL, it was Capital Global. We saw Timberland boots multiple times. The outfits were great, really rocking the Coachella vibes exactly as I expected. He attended a couple of the pre and post parties. He was at the Marc Jacobs and ID pre-Coachella festival. And it was funny because at the Marc Jacobs party, he wore a complete Fendi outfit, which I don't know. He also attended the Revolve Festival. He hung out with his regular entourage the entire time they were all together. And then he was also seen with his buddies Nina Dobrev, Shaun White, Justin Bieber, Cara Delevingne. He shared himself rocking out at Frank Ocean's set. So my question to Lewis, you've teased your return to music. Should maybe we be expecting, a return in a set at Coachella 2024? I don't know. We'll see. Depends if there's a gap in the schedule all over again. And if Lewis is not busy enough, we're here to bring you some more updates about Brad Pitt and Lewis's F1 movie. I still am just grasping for as much information about this movie as I can. I cannot wait for it. Lewis has been quoted of saying, "I know we're going to make the best racing movie that's ever existed." And I'm just like, give it to me right now. So, all the updates that I can give you, still no name. General plot is a Formula One driver, an older retired driver who would be played by Brad Pitt, comes out of retirement to return to the team and help mentor a younger driver. It's like very Hollywood, very big story. The younger driver has been cast. Damson Idris will play the younger driver. And this whole film is being produced by Lewis's new production company, Dawn Apollo Films, with help of Apple Studios. And Apple TV has also recently announced that they're making a documentary completely about Lewis. So just give that all to me. The film is being directed by Joseph Kosinski, who just directed Top Gun Maverick, and we know Lewis is a huge Top Gun fan, and they're going to be utilizing a lot of that same technology. And if anyone saw Top Gun Maverick, it's absolutely insane, and I cannot wait to see this being filmed for F1 racing. They're going to be using a lot of live action racing, real on-track action, and a lot of that filming will happen at this year's races, and Grand Prix happen later in the season. Stefano Domenicali has come out and said that this will take place at various locations, so we'll be seeing a lot of it. Tim Cook, Brad Pitt, and Hamilton have had several meetings with heads of F1 teams to ensure that they want them to participate, and it'd be a big group effort. Hamilton says he will not be featured in the film because he will be busy being part of the on-track action, and I say that's a load of hooey. You're going to give us at least one cameo. It is an absolute must. Right! Come on, Lewis. Don't even... You got to at least pop up at least once. So it will be apparently exclusively in theaters for the first 30 days before hitting your Apple TV Plus subscriptions. So continuing to hope to hear more casting news, maybe get a name. But I can't wait to see the rest of this cast because Lewis is really putting a lot of effort into making sure it is a diverse and well-represented cast, and I expect nothing less from him. And he says that he thinks it's his responsibility to make sure it's diverse. So, all the other drivers have to be up to doing something since there's no racing going on. So what are they doing? Watching other sports. So this past weekend, we had a whole bunch of our F1 favorites at the Rolex Monte-Carlo Masters, which is part of the ATP Tour, which is the Association of Tennis Professionals. We saw Toto Wolff, we saw Susie Wolff, we saw Lando Norris, we saw Nyck Devries, all of them attending. We got some extra special content with Charles and Pierre and Charles' brother Arthur. They were all together, dressed fabulously. They were there watching some doubles matches with Andrei Rublev, and he captured his ATP Masters 1000 crown in the finals, and you could literally see videos of Charles, like, biting his nails, and there's commentators filming him, and he was, like, the edge of his seat the entire time. And then after the match, Pierre, Arthur, and Charles got to go back and hang out with Andrei, and then the opponent that he played with, Holger Rune. So it was definitely really interesting. We also got to see George at ATP as well. He hung out with Djokovic. They had a whole little bit of back and forth about traveling around the world, what it's like to be an F1 driver. It was like definitely a really unique pairing of people having a conversation. So everyone kept really busy, didn't realize. Right, it was just very interesting collection of people. If you're not familiar with Djokovic, he's currently ranked the #1 tennis player in the world and has a very acquired personality. So I could just imagine George's British politeness rubbing really well with that. Upcoming, we have, if you did not know, sports has their own Emmys ceremony. So there is like an entire Emmys besides the traditional TV, sitcom, comedy, all of that. And there's an entire event just for sports. So on May 22nd, if you want to watch online or on the Emmys app, which is a thing that exists, Drive to Survive was actually nominated for 2 different categories. So for Outstanding Documentary Series and then also Outstanding Audio and Sound. So Drive to Survive getting some nominations from the Emmys. It may be award-winning soon.
We also found out this week that the first week viewership of Drive to Survive was up 40% year over year. So interest is not waning for the series.
No, interest is not waning, especially when you have people like us who watch the whole thing in one sitting.
I like to think that that's all our fault.
100%. We caused that entire bump. And last little bit of pop culture that I got to bring you this week is Paramount Plus has signed a full season promotional deal with F1. They are an official partner. They had a short-term deal last year that gave them like some exposure at Silverstone and Monza just with some of their placements. But this year they're definitely expanding that deal a whole lot more. There's apparently going to be Paramount Plus characters from original series and movies, and there's going to be
SpongeBob everywhere.
Let's bring SpongeBob to an F1 race.
Well, I loved seeing that last year, like very serious F1 racing, and then just like SpongeBob in the background. I was like, this is great.
He doesn't have his boating license. Put him in a car.
Oh my gosh, imagine if we got like some of that VR technology where like just randomly in the middle of the race, like SpongeBob is next to Max Verstappen. Like there you go. You're worried about like competing for a lead, like put SpongeBob SquarePants in a boat.
So now, also to reference, if you haven't seen, Briana did a really, really great video a couple of weeks back on our other social media platforms about how the NHL did an animated live, like they reanimated an entire game and played it on Disney Channel. So now I'm just completely imagining an entire F1 race on Nickelodeon with like SpongeBob like popping out and like they're being slimed like they do with the NFL.
Please. I just want to be able to switch all the drivers to, and of course, alternate feet, but all the drivers to Bikini Bottom characters. That would be incredible.
We can't just give them these ideas for free. It's just...
but then okay, but if I could watch it, like, I'd want it. Like, and if it rains, what if it was raining slime? Okay, I'm done. I'm done distracting the guys.
As long as F1 Multiviewer includes the Nickelodeon stream as an additional screen, I'm all for it. I just need to be able to continue to use F1 Multiviewer.
I would watch both of them side by side for sure.
So, we'll be seeing SpongeBob and Patrick at Formula One fan zones in different areas. There's going to be a lot more Paramount Plus branding on track, signage, digital sponsorship, and promotion. But reminder, if you have Paramount Plus, it's not going to give you any sort of ability to watch the race at all. This is literally just a promotional partnership because ESPN has all of these rights until 2025. So maybe Paramount Plus is trying to make sure that they're like a serious name in that conversation when they're looking to renegotiate. But for now, I just asked for SpongeBob to be in the paddock. And that is all we got for you this week on Gossip Grid. And I hope to one day be able to purchase SpongeBob F1 merch. And we will see you next time. Thank you for listening to this segment from episode 13 of Grid Walk. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more F1 videos. And you made it this far in the video, so just click down here and watch the full thing. Watch the rest of the podcast. Come on, click it. Click right there. Click, click, click. You can do it. I see your mouse. Click it right there.